Breaking news now on the SSC recruitment scam in West Bengal. Partha Chatterjee taken for interrogation by the Enforcement Directorate. Since the past few hours, the ED has been conducting mega raids across 13 locations. Priyanka joining us with more details. Priyanka, what can you tell us about, well, we are hearing that Partha Chatterjee, the main accused in the case, has now been taken for interrogation after hours of non-cooperation. Is that true?
Well, that's right, Nupur. We are picking up the latest developments when it comes to the investigation being carried out by the Enforcement Directorate in Partha Chatterjee in the SSC scam case as well, where in fact we have been seeing, a movement since yesterday, the kind of raids that had been carried out by the authorities at multiple locations at not just Partha Chatterjee's residence and offices as well, but also his aide's residence and offices as well. In fact, some of the main names that had come to light during the time of the raids that were being carried out were also Aide Mukherjee, from whose house there were several mobile phones as well that had been recovered. And of course, till today morning, we were learning that the ED official teams had been at Partha Chatterjee's residence, but of course he had then been moved to the ED office, and we are learning that there is a likely arrest of Partha Chatterjee also that is expected in a while from now as well, Nupur, is what our sources are also confirming to us. But of course, the trouble mounting for Partha Chatterjee, of course, since the entire scam had broke of the SSC scam that had broke of the recruitment of the teachers. And since then, the investigation that has been carried out as directed by the Calcutta High Court, then by the CBI, and now the ED also looking into this entire matter. And of course, as per the procedure, Partha Chatterjee will be taken into custody. If there is a likely arrest, that will be done. He will be further interrogated about his tenure as the Education Minister and how this entire scam had broken. Because yesterday as well, we had seen those piles and piles of cash that had also been called as proceeds from this entire scam of the SSC. And now, of course, the authorities digging deeper into this, but the latest being that Partha Chatterjee is being taken to the ED office where he is likely to be arrested.
Priyanka, there are also a number of other ministers whose names are cropping up in this entire scam.
কপি দেবেন বলেছেন সিজিও কমপ্লেক্সে যাওয়ার পর গ্রেফতার করা হয়েছে।
Well, so latest visuals there coming in from Kolkata. Partha Chatterjee, the main accused, the top Bengal minister. At that time of the scam, he was the education minister. He's now being taken by the Enforcement Directorate for questioning in this particular scam. This is the SSC recruitment scam. And well, earlier in the day, we had reported how the Enforcement Directorate had recovered more than 20 crore rupees from Partha Chatterjee's aide's residence. His aide, Aide Mukherjee, we believe, was not cooperating. However, the ED was continuing with its probe. 13 locations raided so far across Kolkata. Other names too in the fray, as far as we know. And our correspondents on the ground bringing us all those details. Mega action by the Enforcement Directorate in Kolkata in the SSC recruitment scam. No word yet from the TMC. Or not.
পার্থ চট্টোপাধ্যায় তাকে গ্রেফতার করে নিয়ে যাওয়া হলো এবং সিজিও কমপ্লেক্সে নিয়ে গিয়ে
Going back to Priyanka once again. Priyanka, is Partha Chatterjee, well, he's being taken for questioning. That was the latest we knew. But now, can we say that he's been arrested by the ED?
For the procedure, we are looking at those visuals as well, Nupur, where Partha Chatterjee is being taken by the officials as well, and he's being taken for the medical examination is also what we're learning. And apart from that, of course, massive developments that are coming to light back to back since yesterday, since the raids as well that were being carried out by the ED officials in the entire residence of Partha Chatterjee. And of course, as you also mentioned, the aide of Partha Chatterjee as well, where in fact heaps of cash that had been recovered, and of course mobile phones as well that had been recovered from the houses of Arpita Mukherjee, and of course other names that have come to light in this entire investigation are that of Paresh Adhikari and Manik Bhattacharya, who is a TMC MLA. Apart from that, of course, Arpita Mukherjee, and apart from that, there are several agent names that have come to light, including that of Chandan Mandal. So apart from that, there are several other investigative details that are coming to light when it comes to the interrogation of Partha Chatterjee as well. That will be done by the authorities after the entire arrest is done officially and he is taken to medical, and of course his remand will be sought for so that he can be further interrogated, because remember, we had seen those visuals yesterday of the raids that had been carried out. That really had also told us that there is more and more documents that have come to light with the investigating authorities, who have seized these documents from the residences and the offices of Partha Chatterjee and his aides as well, and that is why we are seeing that conclusive evidence that the authorities have gotten, which is why perhaps Partha Chatterjee is also being taken into custody so that he can be interrogated and confronted with these documents as well. All of these details will come to light, Nupur, once he is presented in the court for his remand, where all of these points of argument and the reasons for the remand that will be sought for of Partha Chatterjee will be set forth by the investigative authorities in the court of law, where we will get some more details as to what really the direction of this entire investigation is going to be like now, since Partha Chatterjee had in fact been raided upon. He had, remember, been the education minister during the time that the SSC scam had really also come to light, and that is why the authorities are also looking into this entire matter as proceeds of this entire scam that had come to light, of heaps and heaps of cash that had been recovered from the residences of Partha Chatterjee and his aides as well, who had been in the government machinery, who had been a party to the SSC scam, is what the investigating authorities believe.
Right, so incriminating documents are also being recovered, and the ED now most likely, after this medical examination of Partha Chatterjee, senior minister in the West Bengal government, just before he is to be taken for questioning. Right now, as our correspondent Priyanka tells us, well, he is undergoing medical examination. And Priyanka, when we talk about the other names, also we believe that other incriminating documents, also details of dubious companies and so on, have been discovered. Going back, when we recap about the exact dates during which this scam occurred, when was this period? If you could tell us more about the background, because the accusations here are accusation is about selling jobs of teachers.
Well, that's exactly what is in question right now here, as we are seeing this entire investigation also getting deeper now. And of course, the discovery was made of over 1,000 to 2,000 illegal recruitments that had been done of teachers in 10th and 11th, that is, I beg your pardon, 9th and 10th class, of which the teachers had been a recruitment scam that had come to light. And of course, we have seen since after that, the petitions that had been filed in the court of law, in the High Court as well, asking for investigation to be carried out. And after that, we had seen that the Calcutta High Court had directed the investigating authorities to look into the matter. And since then, we have seen raid after raid that has been carried out in the investigation that is also getting deeper by the investigating authorities. First, it was the CBI, and now, of course, it is the Enforcement Directorate that has registered a case against Partha Chatterjee for PMLA, under the PMLA Act, in which he has been also booked for the misappropriation of funds, as well as during the time of his education minister tenure, during the time of which the SSC scam had also come to light from West Bengal, in which several important factors, important names of the West Bengal government machinery had also come to light. And that's exactly what we are seeing happening right now, with Partha Chatterjee also being taken into custody, him being arrested, and then, of course, the subsequent interrogation that will be carried out by the authorities as well into this entire matter. That will also be a telling sign as to how the entire investigation is proceeding, because yesterday we had seen as heaps of cash that had been recovered, but it was not just that. There were several mobile phones that had been recovered. There were several documents that had been recovered. And of course, as you rightly pointed out, there are several aides of Partha Chatterjee that have been named in this entire matter, in this entire scam. And they will also be brought into custody. They will also be interrogated as well. And those were the names, in fact, that we had been also pointing out. We have been talking about those names since the very time that this entire SSC scandal also broke. seeing several close counterparts of Partha Chatterjee in this entire matter, who are, who were also being raided upon. Of course, Arpita Mukherjee is one of the main names that has come to light, from whom mobile phones had also been recovered, heaps of cash had been recovered, and now we're being told that documents have also been recovered by the investigating authorities so that they can be interrogating all of these accused, all of these suspects in this entire SSC scam, and they can get to the truth of how really this entire scandal had been operating and how key members of the West Bengal government machinery had been a party to it.
Right, Priyanka, this is Rukma here. And as far as the TMC is concerned, has the party no stand on this issue?
Well, that's what it seems like, Rukma, because we have seen that there is absolutely radio silence from the TMC. Even when the TMC MLA Manik Bhattacharya has been named in this entire matter, he had been raided upon by the investigating authorities. There are documents to that extent that the investigating authorities, namely the ED and the CBI, have said that they have, which prove the involvement of these key players of the West Bengal government machinery at that time to have been involved in the misappropriation of funds of this entire scandal of recruitment of teachers as well for the primary school and for 9th and 10th standards specifically. And that is why we are seeing that this entire scandal getting only bigger and more names coming to light. But coming back to your point of the TMC's reaction as of now, Rukma, we have picked up absolutely none so far. There is absolutely no defense that the TMC has put forth when it comes to this kind of an investigation, except for the statement that we have seen time and time again from the TMC members claiming that this is a government vendetta, that is, this is a central government vendetta